So welcome back to the Stephan Show. My name is Graham, and welcome to my show. And today we're going to be bringing back one of our previous callers, a guy who was 22 years old, living with his parents, making $500,000 a month. There were a lot of questions that people had on that video. They wanted to know how he did it, some more details about his income. So anyway, enough of you guys wanted him back on, so that's what we're doing. And we're bringing him back on the show. He's going to share all the details about his business, how he was able to do this, and we're going to be going through some of the comments too, and he's going to be answering them. So with that said, enjoy the video and smash the like button. Here we go. So Robert, welcome back to the Stephan Show. And I have to say, from popular demand, people loved your episode so much that they wanted you to come back on. Now, for those not familiar with this, I posted a video, I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, about a 22-year-old who was living at home making $500,000 a month. And it sounds so outrageous that like everyone had to click on that video. And then in the video, people wanted more details about like your business, how you started. A lot of people were saying that's like, That's not true, Graham. That's not true. We need proof. So, you know, and they want more details. So in this video, we're going to be going over all of your details and how you were able to do this, because I think a lot of people see something like this. Like, you know, honestly, someone's 22 years old, living at parents, making $500,000 a month, and they find that outrageous, and they're just like, how do you do it? And they find it really inspirational. Yeah. Like, I hear this, and I'm like, it goes to show you, it's like that anything is possible. So let's start at the very beginning. I want you to tell us how you were able to do this. Like, first of all, start from the very beginning. Like, how did you figure this out? How did you learn how to do this?
Yeah, sure.
Where's the money coming from? And just sum this up for us in like a few minutes. Let's hear it.
I'll go a little bit more in depth this time. So
yes,
last call I kind of mentioned I'm a software engineer. So I'm a software engineer, yes, but I'm a business owner. That's how I make all my money. If I was a software engineer, you know, I'd be working for a company making, you know, $200K, whatever it is. But I own my own business that is in the software development industry, and I'm also a partner in another business that has multiple owners in the software development industry. And then also I own a game company as well. I learned off YouTube when I first got started. I was doing HTML and CSS. And then from there, it just kind of went down the rabbit hole, and I started learning a lot of different functional programming and different things. And then from there, I started getting to the professional development industry once I was old enough to do so.
Gotcha. Okay. So where does the money come from exactly? If you could break down which business is making what.
Yeah, so the majority of the money comes from my gaming business, but I have a decent amount of income from my software development practice. Now, I work with a lot of different companies, but I have some main clients, and they're all my companies that I work with are enterprise clients. The smallest company I work with makes $150 million a year. But what I provide for them is very, very advanced services. So I'm talking about rebuilding their entire website using modern tech stacks, rebuilding the backend architecture to be more scalable, more secure, disaster recovery services. So I'm on the front line where, you know, I've even had situations where a client's site will go down. I'll be at dinner. Like one time I was at dinner at a mall, and one of my client's sites went down, and I had to literally run to the Apple store, buy a computer, and get it back online.
Okay. And then the gaming company what is that exactly?
Yeah, so the gaming company, that's basically we own a bunch of different games that are run on servers for other games. So basically what that means exactly is games like Minecraft, Gary's Mod, CSGO, all these games offer where you can have servers in the game. So we sell access to those servers through hosting. So we'll host your game server for you, and you pay us a monthly fee basically.
How did you start that? How do you realize there's money in that?
Well, you know, when you're early on, I started getting into gaming when I was really young. Built basically a few private game servers myself. They started to get traction when I was young. And then from there, I realized there was money in it, so I just kind of went down the rabbit hole of that. And we built, me and my buddy built a Minecraft server when we were young too, shortly after, and that started making great money. So we said, hey, why don't we just get in the business of hosting these servers, because we saw that we were paying so much in hosting fees every month to the hosting companies, and there's a lot of profit in it.
What other details can you tell us about that? Like, how do you grow that business? How could someone
mean,
watching? How could someone watching right now? They're living at home with their parents. They're 22. How can they start doing something like this?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes with learning about programming and software on how it works. You definitely need some infrastructure experience. So, the way that I got into it is I learned about Linux and I learned about Unix and how servers worked, and then the cloud came out and I learned about how the cloud works. If you understand how to leverage those things, you can build infrastructure that you can sell. So most hosting companies nowadays, like if you go host a website, are built on like Amazon's infrastructure, AWS, or they're built on Google Cloud. They're not actually having physical data centers anymore where they pay for the servers physically and then sell them out to you monthly. That's not how it works anymore. Everything's through these bigger tech companies that have their own massive data centers and clouds.
Gotcha. And then for the software development consulting, how do you get clients for that? Because I see here, I mean that's I know this is a smaller portion of your income. It's still very significant. How do you get clients? Yeah. How do people find you?
So I think in a way, so I started out small. So the way I started out in software is I started at my first job, I started at a consulting firm in South Florida, and it was when I was young, and I actually had my parents sign off on it and everything because I was so young. But basically, I started working with clients, learning the ins and outs of the consulting business for software development, marketing, all that stuff. And then I got really interested on the business side of things. So I said, hey, let me learn more about this. So after that, I went to go work for a corporate company for a while, had a little experience in the corporate world. I hated it. I owned consultancy after that year. And I started doing what I would do to get business at first was I would go to all the marketing agencies near me. And I would say, hey, you go find the client and I'll do the work for you. And then you just pay me under the table, and it's not under the table literally, but like, you pay me my fee and I give you the work and you charge them, 180 hour, I'll do it for 60 to 90 hour. So that's what I would do at first. And that's how I really got started. And eventually I learned how to get my own clients once I got a little bit older and got my foot in the door.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, really quick, what I want to do, which I think might be fun, is go through some of the top comments on that video. I'd love for you to respond to some of these. What do you say to this? At $6 million a year, his parents live with him.
I don't necessarily think that's true because, it is my parents' house. I try to pay the bills. I've tried even paying the mortgage. They don't let me. They're very keen about me saving money. So they're really good parents. They don't let me pay for anything. The one thing that I do, and you'll see that reflected in once we start talking about that pie chart, is I have a big food bill because I pay for my entire family to eat.
What do your parents think of this? Let me ask you, are your parents pretty well off to begin with?
No, my mother, she's a real estate agent. And she actually got my entire family into real estate. And I kind of just went this separate path. I didn't really like it. Well, she tried getting me into it at first, but then with software, I think I could do something great there. And I just really didn't like it. It wasn't for me. But, she's a real estate agent. She earns good money, but not necessarily, I wouldn't say well off. She's definitely middle class for sure.
Gotcha. So your parents are basically, they don't need this. It's not like they're trying to use your money or anything like that, but they respect that about you, that you're doing so well.
Exactly. They want what's best for me. And, I love and appreciate them so much. And one day I will give them a lot when they let me. But right now, I've tried paying for things. I've tried giving them, paying the mortgage. I've tried paying the electric bills. There's all the different things when you live at a house, and they just take my money and give it back. So
good, hey, good parents. Now the next one is that wish he would go on Millennial Money and do a breakdown of his expenses and allocations of his income. I'd love to watch that. Would you be interested? No promises here. If I put you in touch with the people at Millennial Money, would you do an episode?
Yeah, I would definitely do an episode. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Okay. So you know what? Because we're going to be doing a bit of a breakdown on just a few of your expenses in this episode. I'll ask them. I'm going to reach out to them, and I'll see if they're interested in doing that. I think that would make an incredible episode. So, I mean, do you think your level of success is attainable for people watching? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I have friends and I meet people all the time that make me look like a little, very minimal in the grand scheme of things. I mean, if you think about some of the richest people in the world, I mean, they make what I make in a minute. You have to believe in yourself. I've always told myself that I'm going to achieve great things. I've never doubted myself 1 second. I've always told my clients too, if I don't know something, I'm going to learn it and I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to figure it out. That's just the mindset I have. And I think that's one of the most important things, is just having that positive mindset.
What do you do about taxes? How do you owe a lot of taxes, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
How do you structure that?
So basically I have a separate account I put money away in taxes for. And then I do monthly tax payments, and my accountant handles that for me.
So are there any tax secrets or, tax strategies that you've been using that us plebs can utilize? I've been looking into this for me this year. It's just like, what can I do about my tax situation outside of moving out of California? And there's not much.
Yeah.
It's either you spend money, but then I don't want to spend money for the sake of spending money. So it's like, a weird predicament. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in that same predicament. I think that's the problem. No matter how much money you make and you own a business, it's really hard. I have that problem. I spend, I'm not going to sit here and say I spend as little as you do, because I know you're very frugal. I'm frugal. I don't spend a lot. I have my splurges here and there, but tax wise, I take advantage of the normal tax laws. I'm very strict about making sure everything's 100% on the books, 100% accurate. I don't want any problems with the IRS whatsoever. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. So I make sure I do everything right. But at the same time, I do take advantage of everything I can. So, for example, I'm a big car guy, so I lease my cars. I write off a portion of lease as much as I can to take a benefit there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really make too big of a dent.
So let's go to this. So you have your expenses up here. We got cars, car leases, rentals, and upgrades, $10,530 a month. What do you drive?
So most of that money, believe it or not, is not actually things that I'm obligated to pay. I'm not contractually obligated to pay. So a lot of that's car rentals. So I do enjoy multiple times a month renting a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, something like that. I like having a variety. I'm very, very into cars. That's my big enjoyment. I don't splurge on pretty much a lot more than just cars. That's my biggest thing. But I have two leases. One's a BMW M5 competition, and one's a BMW M2 competition. And I fully upgrade those. I like to have fun. Yeah, I mean, the rest is just car rentals, insurance, and miscellaneous things that come with owning cars like that.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, the thing is, you could afford it. It doesn't really do much. And then obviously, I see here $3,000 a month on food. The hard part is that there's really, and $2,000 a month shopping. There's nothing here I could react to because you're making so much. It's a drop in the bucket. That's the equivalent of so a normal person spending $20 a month on car. It's just it's so little compared to everything else that I don't even have a reaction because oh yeah, that's fine. Anything you spend your money on besides buying a Bugatti or like a Pagani or anything like that. There's nothing. Yeah. Do you want a car like that one day?
Oh, 100%. I'm going to have 20 of them. I mean, not 20 Bugattis, but, a bunch of different exotic cars, supercars, hypercars. I'm going to have a collection. That's my dream. The food bill, why it's so expensive, the $3,000 a month. That's because I feed multiple people. I literally, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I feed my family with myself. And we don't eat cheap. We go to Whole Foods. We get the nice stuff. We get organic everything. We try to eat healthy.
Gotcha. Okay. And last thing, we're gonna be addressing a comment here. One last comment I think is worth addressing here.
Sure.
This person thinks you're fake. He says, sorry to say, but this is obviously fake. 1, the minimum age for schooling is at least 16 in every state. There's no state where you could drop out at 15. But I think you clarified that it was 12th grade you dropped out, correct?
So basically, just starting high school, I immediately went into online schooling. So to me, I was like already dropped out. I just didn't even realize it. Like I wasn't like dropped out legally. I was working, since I was the age of 14, I was working, legally, but I wasn't working full time. I had to have my parents sign waivers so I could work at the tech companies I was working at. And then I got as soon as I hit 18, that's when I got my first corporate job with a company, a Fortune 1000 company, I think it was.
Gotcha. Yeah, they say a minor is 14 or 15 years old may only work 3 hours on a school day outside of normal school hours. These minors may only work a maximum of 18 hours per school week. Assuming normal hours, he would have worked all summer. We have 3 months of full wages plus 9 months of part-time wages. So what?
Yeah, I remember I was actually working 18 hours a week because there was a problem, because they would be like, I'd be in the office, they'd say like, hey, Robert, you can't come in tomorrow because you maxed out for the week because it was against the law. So, they took me on understanding my age and understanding that.
Gotcha. And then when you negotiated a six-figure salary, this guy says negotiating six figures with no high school education and only one job on your resume at a small-time company would not fly in software engineering, especially for an upper-tier company. The idea that upper-tier companies would desperately need software engineers aren't looking for people with bachelor's degrees is absurd. Most places only give you 2 to 4 technical interviews, which would not be enough to see where the holes are in your knowledge in a topic as wide as CS.
Yeah, so basically to that, I think everything that was just said is totally false. I mean, so here's the thing. I had a lot of experience. I may have not had professionally on paper. I made sure I put it on paper of everything I've done, and everything I've worked on. By that time, I've worked on multiple games. I worked on multiple softwares. I had a portfolio to show. The biggest thing was the portfolio and all the sites I built, all the web applications, all the desktop applications, all the stuff I built. And then also it's really how you sell yourself. I'm very confident when I talk and when I go to interviews. I've actually never been turned down in an interview in my entire life. I've actually never had a problem with that. It's just because the way I present myself, I'm very confident, I'm very relaxed, I'm very kind and straightforward. I think that's really what it takes, is you got to portray the confidence, and you have to tell them, I know what I'm doing. I won't let you down. I'm going to work really, really hard. And that's really how I got that first job.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you providing some clarification. And if there's anything else we need, we know we're going to have you back on at some point. So maybe we could expect a third Graham Stephan show interview like this.
Yeah. Anything you want. I'm happy to share the knowledge with everybody. I think it's all great stuff. If anyone gets a benefit out of it, I would love to share more. I think it's great.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
You got it. Bye. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to destroy the subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on Instagram. I post it pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there, as on my podcast, brand new, by the way, link down below in the description. And lastly, like I just mentioned, if you guys want those 2 free stocks, very easy to do. Just use the link down below in the description, and Webull is going to be giving you 2 free stocks when you deposit $100 on the platform, and one of those stocks could be valued all the way up to $1,400. So if you want the 2 free stocks, use that link down below. Let me know which 2 free stocks you get. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.